Kathryn Kuhlman uncovered something the church doesn't want you to know. Something that happens in the shadows while you sleep soundly. Someone might be praying against you. What if I told you there's a spiritual war raging right now? A war where you are the target, and you don't even know it. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 6 unmistakable signs that show when enemies are using prayers as weapons against your life. Kathryn spent years studying this. What she discovered will open your eyes to a hidden reality. But before we begin, I need to warn you. Once you know these signs, you won't be able to ignore them. You'll start noticing patterns that have always been there. Patterns your conscious mind rejected. The first thing Kathryn noticed was strange. Very strange. She woke up every night at 3 a.m. Exactly 3 a.m. For weeks. No alarm. No apparent reason. Coincidence? Maybe you think so. But when other symptoms started appearing, she realized it wasn't a coincidence. It was a sign. The first sign is this. You always wake up at the same time in the early morning hours, between 2 and 4 a.m. Your body feels inexplicably agitated, an anxiety you can't explain. Sometimes your heart races for no reason. Sometimes you feel a tightness in your chest. Do you know why this happens? At this hour, the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is thinnest. This is when negative prayers have the most power. This is when your enemies choose to attack. They know you're vulnerable during sleep. They know your spiritual defenses are down. And here's something disturbing. Many people wake up at exactly 3 a.m., the hour of spiritual inversion, the hour when shadowy forces are most active. It's no coincidence that this happens at this specific time. But here's what they don't want you to know. Your spirit is trying to warn you. It's trying to wake you up so you can defend yourself. Have you felt this? This sudden awakening? This feeling that something isn't right? If so, keep watching, because what comes next will give you chills. The second sign is even more disturbing. Kathryn started having repetitive dreams. Dreams where she was being chased, where dark forces were trying to capture her, where she ran but could never escape. At first, she thought it was stress, daily worries. But the dreams were very specific, very real, and they always ended the same way. With her being overtaken by a shadow, here's the terrifying truth. When someone prays against you, it creates a spiritual connection, a bridge between the spiritual world and your dreams. Your enemies are literally invading your subconscious. They're planting images of fear. They're programming your brain for failure. And they do this to break your peace, to plant fear, to drain your spiritual energy while you sleep, to make you wake up already defeated, already hopeless. The most common dreams include you being chased by shadowy figures, you trying to scream but unable to make a sound, you running but your feet not moving, you falling into deep chasms. These are all direct attacks on your subconscious. Do you have disturbing dreams? Recurring nightmares? Dreams where you're always running from something? Dreams where you feel an evil presence watching you? If you answered yes, I'm sorry to inform you, someone is praying against you. But don't panic yet, because there is a way to protect yourself, a way that Kathryn discovered after months of suffering, and I'm going to teach you all about it. However, before that, you need to know all the signs, because only then will you be able to completely identify what's happening. The third sign will shock you. Kathryn realized she was constantly losing things. Keys disappeared from where she always left them. Important documents mysteriously vanished. Valuables were found in impossible places. She started to think she was losing her memory, that she was going crazy. But then she discovered the truth. Her enemies were causing mental confusion through prayers. When someone prays against your mental clarity, strange things start to happen. You forget important appointments. You lose things constantly. You make wrong decisions for no apparent reason. Your phone disappears and reappears in impossible places. You always put your keys in the same place, but they're not there. Important documents disappear from your desk. It's like a mental fog descends upon you, a confusion you can't explain, a feeling that your mind isn't working right. You go to the supermarket and forget what you went to buy. You leave home and don't remember if you locked the door. You schedule meetings and completely forget about them. And worst of all, you start to doubt yourself. You start to question your own sanity. You start to believe you're getting older, that you're losing your mental capacity. Exactly what your enemies want. They want you to feel incompetent. They want you to lose confidence in yourself. Have you been going through this? Have you been losing things constantly? Have you been making decisions that you can't later explain? Have you felt your mind confused for no apparent reason? If yes, someone is attacking your mental clarity through negative prayers. But wait, what I've shown you so far is only the beginning. The next 3 signs are even more intense. And one of them is so specific that when you know it, you will immediately recognize if it's happening to you. Kathryn almost didn't believe it when she discovered the 4th sign. It was through a life-changing experience, an experience she never imagined could happen. She was in church, as always, praying peacefully, when suddenly she felt a heavy energy descending upon her. An energy that didn't come from God. It came from somewhere else. At that moment, she realized something terrifying. Not everyone in church was praying for her. Someone there, pretending to be her friend, was praying against her, silently, subtly, and that's how it works. Your greatest spiritual enemies aren't strangers. They're people close to you, people who know your life, people who know your weaknesses. They use this information to pray specifically against you, against your dreams, against your happiness, against your success. And the cruelest art, they do it smiling in your face, pretending to love you, pretending to root for you. Have you ever felt a heavy energy when you're around certain people? An inexplicable feeling of discomfort? A sudden urge to get away from a specific person? That's your spirit warning you. That's your spiritual defense system working. Your body knows when someone isn't vibrating well with you. But here's what Kathryn Kuhlman discovered that can save your spiritual life. There's a specific protective prayer, a prayer that creates a spiritual shield around you, a prayer that blocks all negative energy directed at you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to teach you this prayer, word for word. But first, you need to know the last two signs, because they are the most dangerous. The fifth sign almost destroyed Kathryn's life. And when you know what it is, you'll understand why so many people live failing lives without knowing the real reason. Kathryn noticed that everything she tried to do went wrong. Projects that should have succeeded inexplicably failed. Relationships that seemed perfect ended abruptly and painfully. Job opportunities vanished at the last minute. Money disappeared from her bank account for reasons she couldn't explain. It was as if a curse had been cast upon her life. And that's exactly what was happening. Her enemies were praying against her success, against her prosperity, against everything that could make her happy. They didn't just want her to fail. They wanted her to believe that failure was her destiny, that she deserved to suffer, that she would never prosper. Do you recognize this pattern in your life? Do you feel like everything always goes wrong at the last minute? That no matter how hard you try, you can never fully prosper? If you do, I'm sorry to inform you. Someone is praying against your success. When you identify this spiritual warfare, you can reverse everything. You can cancel every negative prayer. You can restore everything that has been stolen from you. And the sixth sign is the most revealing of all. It's the sign that confirms all the others. It's the sign that definitively proves you're under spiritual attack. But before revealing this last sign, I need to ask you an important question, a question that could change your life. Are you prepared to discover who your enemies really are? Are you prepared to see the truth about the people around you? Are you prepared to take action? Because once I reveal the sixth sign, there's no turning back. You'll know exactly who is praying against you, and you'll need to decide what to do with that information. The sixth sign is this. Specific people constantly appear in your dreams, always negatively, always causing you problems in your dreams, always in situations where you are harmed. When Kathryn realized this, everything made sense. The same faces appeared in her nightmares. The same people who pretended to be her friends during the day attacked her in her dreams at night. Her subconscious was revealing the truth. It was showing her who her real spiritual enemies were. And here's what you need to understand. This is not a coincidence. When someone consistently prays against you, a spiritual connection is created. This connection manifests in your dreams. Do you have recurring dreams with specific people? Dreams where these people always harm you? Dreams where you feel anger or fear towards these people? If so, these are the people who are praying against you. Now you know the truth. Now you know the 6 signs. But knowing the signs is only the first step. The second step is learning to protect yourself. It's learning to reverse this situation. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you in part 2. I'm going to reveal the protective prayer that Kathryn Kuhlman discovered. The prayer that breaks every curse. The prayer that creates an impenetrable spiritual shield around you. But I'm also going to teach you something even more powerful. I'm going to teach you how to reverse negative prayers. How to make everything that was sent against you return multiplied to the sender. Because here's a spiritual truth that few people know. When you pray correctly, you can make all negative energy return to the sender. You can transform the curse into a blessing. But for that, you need to know the exact words. You need to know the right timing. Your hair loses its shine. Your skin becomes lifeless. People commented that she looked tired, that she had lost that special light she always had, that she wasn't the same person anymore. Friends asked if she was sick, if she was going through some problem, if she needed medical help. And she was, because negative prayers drain your life force. They suck your joy. They steal your vitality. It's as if a spiritual vampire is feeding on your energy. Day after day, night after night, you wake up tired even after sleeping 8 hours. You feel like your energy was sucked out during the night. You need more coffee to function. You feel like you're aging faster than you should. Have you noticed this in yourself? People saying you've changed? That you've lost that sparkle in your eyes? That you don't seem as happy as before? If so, someone is draining your energy through negative prayers. But here's something that will give you hope. Kathryn Kuhlman discovered that this energy can be restored completely in a matter of days. And I'm going to show you exactly how. The fifth sign almost made Kathryn give up on everything. She began to feel an inexplicable sadness, a melancholy that came from nowhere, a depression she couldn't fight. It was as if a dark cloud followed her everywhere. Even on sunny days, she felt darkness inside. No matter what good happened in her life, the sadness was always there, like a dark cloud following her everywhere. She could get a promotion at work and not feel joy. She could be with loved ones and feel alone. She could be at a party and feel like crying. She tried therapy. She tried medication. She tried dietary changes. She tried exercise. She tried travel. She tried new hobbies. Nothing worked because the problem wasn't psychological. It was spiritual. The sadness was being sent through negative prayers. Your enemies were praying for her joy to be extinguished, sending depression through their prayers, trying to make her give up, wanting to see her utterly broken, completely hopeless. And they almost succeeded. Have you felt a sadness you can't explain? A depression that came out of nowhere? A loss of interest in things that once made you happy? This isn't ordinary depression. It's a targeted spiritual attack. But there's a way to break it. Immediately. And Kathryn Kuhlman discovered this way on the darkest night of her life. It was a Friday. She was alone in her room, weeping uncontrollably, contemplating giving up, when suddenly a light dawned in her mind. A powerful revelation, an understanding that changed everything. She realized she'd been fighting the wrong weapon. She'd been trying to combat depression when she should have been combating negative prayers. And the moment she understood this, everything changed. Because here's a truth that could save your life. When you identify the spiritual source of the problem, the solution becomes simple. When you stop fighting symptoms and start fighting the cause, victory is guaranteed. And the sixth sign? The sixth sign is the most revealing of all. Kathryn Kuhlman realized she was being sabotaged from within. Her own thoughts had become her enemies. She began to hate herself, to constantly criticize herself, to believe she was a failure. But these thoughts weren't hers. They were planted through negative prayers. Her enemies we're placing self-destructive thoughts into her mind. And that is the most powerful weapon there is, making you believe you are your own enemy, making you attack yourself from within, making you destroy yourself. Do you have negative thoughts about yourself you can't control? Do you hear an inner voice constantly criticizing you? Do you feel like you're your own worst enemy? These thoughts are not yours. They're implanted through negative prayers. Now stop for a moment. Breathe deeply, because what I'm about to reveal will break all these chains. It will liberate you completely. The protection prayer Kathryn Kuhlman discovered is powerful beyond imagination. But it only works if you know how to use it correctly. You need to be in a quiet place. You need to be alone. You need to speak aloud with authority. First, you need to understand that you have spiritual authority. You are not a helpless victim. You have power. You have spiritual rights. You can defend yourself. You were created with authority over darkness. Before you begin the prayer, light a white candle. This represents the divine light. This strengthens your spiritual connection. Breathe deeply 3 times. Feel the peace descending upon you. The prayer begins like this. Speak these words aloud, with authority, with conviction, without haste. Let each word penetrate the spiritual realm. I declare that every negative prayer sent against me is canceled now. Every word of curse spoken over my life loses its power now. Every negative energy directed at me returns multiplied to the sender. When you speak these words, pause for a few seconds. Feel their power echoing in the environment. Visualize a golden light enveloping your body. Visualize all negative energy being repelled. But this is only the beginning. The most powerful part comes now. I decree total protection over my mind, my body, my spirit. I decree that no force of darkness can touch me. I decree that I am protected by divine power. When you speak these words, something happens in the spiritual world. A shield of protection forms around you, a barrier that no negative prayer can penetrate. But Kathryn Kuhlman discovered something even more powerful, a way to not only protect herself, but to completely reverse the situation. I decree that every blessing that has been blocked in my life is released now. Every success that has been prevented returns multiplied. Every joy that has been stolen returns double. This is the part that transforms curse into blessing. That transforms attack into victory. But here's the secret that few know. The timing of this prayer is crucial. You must do it at a specific time, between 3 and 4 in the morning, exactly when your enemies usually pray against you. Set an alarm if necessary. Wake up specifically to say this prayer. When you pray at the same time as them, your prayer cancels out their prayer. It's as if you're intercepting the attack and returning it multiplied. It's a spiritual war fought at the same time. And whoever prays with more faith and authority wins. And there's a final phrase that seals everything. A phrase that guarantees you will never again be spiritually attacked. Speak with all the authority you have. I decree that anyone who prays against me will receive back everything they send, multiplied by 7. So be it. When you speak these words, You create a spiritual law, an automatic protection. Anyone who tries to attack you spiritually will be automatically struck by their own attack. It's like a shield that reflects all negative energy back to the sender. And here's something fascinating. Within 48 hours of saying this prayer, you'll begin to see changes. People who were praying against. You will begin to have problems. Strange coincidences will happen in their lives. They will get sick for no reason. They will lose opportunities. They will experience financial difficulties. And you will begin to prosper. You will feel your energy returning. You will see opportunities arising. You will realize that life is becoming easier. You will sleep better. You will dream of good things. You will have more mental clarity. Because all the negative energy that was being directed at you has been cut off. And all the positive energy that was blocked has been released. But there's something else Kathryn Kuhlman discovered. A way to identify exactly who was praying against her. For 7 days after saying the protection prayer, pay attention to your dreams. The people who were praying against you will appear in your dreams, but this time, differently. You will dream that they are being confronted, that they are apologizing, that they are suffering consequences for the spiritual attacks. These dreams are confirmations. They are signs that the prayer worked, that the protection is active. And here's a powerful truth. Once you say this prayer correctly, you are protected forever. No one can attack you spiritually again. You become untouchable. But remember, this protection only works if you truly believe. If you speak the words just for the sake of speaking, without faith, they have no power. You need to feel the authority within you. You need to know you have a right to this protection. You need to believe you deserve to live a prosperous and happy life. And if you still doubt your own power, let me remind you of something. You survived until now, despite all the attacks, despite all the weaponized prayers, despite all the obstacles. This proves you are stronger than you imagine, that you have a natural protection, that you were made to win. Now imagine what your life will be like when you're no longer spiritually attacked. When all negative energy is cut off, when you are completely protected, your dreams will be peaceful. Your mind will be clear. Your decisions will be right. Your opportunities will multiply. And most importantly, you will regain your joy of living. You will shine again. You will become who you truly are. Because here's the ultimate truth. Your enemies don't attack weak people. They attack powerful people. People who have potential. People who can make a difference in the world. The fact that you are being spiritually attacked proves that you are special, that you have an important purpose, that you represent a threat to the forces of darkness. And now that you know how to protect yourself, nothing can stop you. Absolutely nothing. Say the prayer tonight. Between 3 and 4 in the morning, with authority, with faith, with the certainty that you deserve protection. And get ready, because your life is going to change completely, for the better, forever. The spiritual war against you is over. Now begins your definitive victory. Kathryn Kuhlman knew this, and so can you.